Okay, this thing is running terrible. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the right thing, and we're gonna take it way up into the wilderness. I believe it has water in the fuel. Nice fish. Okay, after draining the fuel out, put new fuel in, took it for a ride, still has the same problem. It's coughing, sputtering, missing like at high speeds. What do you want, mister? And then my brain started working. And I thought, well, it's done this before. It has done it before with water in the fuel. But also, anybody that knows these Yamahas, I'm not sure if any other quads have the same thing, but what it has on here is when you're backing up or when you have the diff lock on, it has I think it's like a spark arrestor type thing where it interrupts the spark and it makes it run crappy. It's a safety thing for just so you can't back up real fast. It'll backfire and sputter. And that's exactly what it's doing at high speeds. So I tried holding the override button, which is right there. And when you hold the override button at high speeds, the sputtering goes away. I think the easiest fix would be to disable that override button. I don't really have time right now. I'm working on the other quad as well. So this time we use it, we'll just have to hold the override button when we want to go fast. And then later I'll take that switch apart, connect the wires together, and that should solve the problem. Okay, after searching the towns around nearby, I finally found what I was looking for. This is another one of them situations where I had to pay the new world prices for anybody knows that anything you go to buy now is expensive. And if you've been watching any of my previous videos in the last few months, I've bought, let's see, about $600 to $700 I spent in the last 2.5 months, say, on batteries. Seems that everything I have, the batteries are dying. And this one here, this is $80 in Canada. And you got to put the acid in yourself. You would think for $80 that they would put the acid in for you. Anyways, I'll fill this up and get it into the other quad. And I should have 2 functioning quads. Okay, for anybody that has never had the pleasure of doing this, I thought I would just show how it's done. It's fairly straightforward. Right here, this is a little vent plug. You take that out. Discard the vent plug. I should probably move all this to somewhere completely level. We'll do that. Okay, you don't have to, but I'm choosing to wear gloves. I've taken all the plastic caps off here. Now this acid, it is supposed to be between 60 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You cut the little tip off of the end of this, but you leave half the tip on, and that is so you can connect your little hose. They supply you with the hose, and they supply you with this thing here, which is for this vent tube, and it really doesn't want to fit on very well. Okay. Now I'm hoping that I will be able to see. It's a pain. You can't really see the levels, so I ended up overfilling one, underfilling another, and so you got to suck it out of one and put it into the other, and suck it out of one and put it in the other, and big time hassle, but is done. And yes, gloves are kind of a must for this. Okay, I'm going to try to show you the issue I'm having. That's the battery box right there. It is welded to the frame, so it will not move. Now, I'm going to put the battery in the box and show you how much access I have once it's put in the box. Okay, and I should say too that this is the proper battery for this particular Polaris. Now, if you can see in there, there is basically zero room. Battery is sitting in the box tight. Now let's go look at it from the other side. Okay, those are the 3 wires that need to be connected. Connected to what, you ask? Connected to those connectors that are under the fender. This side here is completely under the fender, the ground side, and the other side is just more or less under the fender. Now, if I flip the battery around the other way, well, then it makes it even worse. So this is the only way it can go. However, let's see about these. Now, these positives, they just barely, that one reaches. This one here, if you stretch it a lot or run it where it's not supposed to go, it almost reaches. So it doesn't even really reach. Except now this one here will reach out the back of the bloody quad. Now this is all stock too. This was a new machine. So nothing has been changed. I feel sorry for anybody else that has Polaris. They're just garbage. It's like they were put together by grade 1 students. And the Polaris's factory method for holding this thing, a bungee cord right from the factory. Idiots. Okay, I'm gonna have to camarada this thing. Some people might know what I'm talking about. There we go. There should be a little bit more access. Okay, this is one of them other things. The worst thing to deal with Polaris. You have these little things here. They're just like nuts, basically. They have to go inside the battery post. There's no room to put it in there. You can't, and the little nuts just fall and disappear, and they're lost in oblivion. So I'm gonna try something here. Hopefully this works. Yeah, I've never seen anything this stupid before. I don't get it. Like, why would they do this? So I'm jamming toilet paper in here, hoping that the toilet paper will hold this little nut on the inside in place. So far I've lost 2 of these little nut things already, so pretty soon I'm gonna run out of them. Now, if you can see what I'm gonna do here, because these little nuts are just floating around inside this thing, so I have to try to get them to stay still. That's the toilet paper. Now, if I jam the toilet paper in tight enough, that nut should stay kind of there. Now the funny bent. See, like they bent the end of it. This is so stupid. Okay, this is an unnecessary piece of Polaris. You can get rid of this, make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, that's probably it for now. Bit of a nightmare that was.